Hey guys, this is HotNoob again, like always. Yeah. Anyway, this is post number 11. I'm gonna be doing basic classes. I'm not gonna really type this out because it is a lot, and I have a lot of important notes here that I'm not sure I can remember all of them while I go through this. Plus, I never really pre-read any of these videos or anything. Anyway, just quickly looking for here. First we're just going to create a class here, my special object, right? Classes are pretty much, custom objects, and they contain functions, right? Like the console and so on, right? Not really like the strings, but you know what I mean. Just your own custom variables, pretty much. Anyway, so we're going to create a class. Now, for this example, I'm just going to use public, right? Because I'm going to be explaining the access modifiers later. So just use public for now. Although in the future, remember to always use private as a default. Public right now is just for an example, right? So the constructor. So this is the constructor function. It has, you'll notice, the same name as class, right? This function is called when you say new blah blah blah, right? So I'm actually just going to copy and paste this in so you can see all of the proper coloring and stuff. So, new project, and this is post 11. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this over, and I'm expecting that you guys try to write this in as you go through it to try and understand it. Okay, and because it has the same class name, whatever. Okay. There you go, now you can see how the class names have a different color, right? You recognize these from the console. So, to declare it, you declare like most other variables, right? Yep. So, when the new my special object is called, it's calling this function, right? In which case, I've set up a variable called myString, right? Public string myString, and it's currently not set. So we're setting it now, right? For future usage, right? So we're gonna create a basic function here, write string, public void write string. This is just, console.write line string, right? And pause console, right? Console.write line, press enter to continue, sort of thing, just to make it a bit friendly. Okay. So you'll notice how that you can call it from your object, right? My object.write string calls the function write string, right? And notice input string. So it's pretty much pretty useless thing, but hopefully it shows you an example of how it works, right? And then we just pause the console, right? And this outputs here. I'll just show you what happens, right? Hello world, press enter to continue, right? And then we're going to use some function overloading in our class, and we're going to do write string, but without any input. And this will write the line of my string, or write the value of my string, which was defined in the constructor as the world is not answering. And then we're going to pause the console. right? So let's see what happens now. It's going to be hello world, then the world is not listening, continue. Now, because it's a public variable, the string, or the field, you can call it externally just like the function, and I'll explain the access modifiers later on. But, so we're going to say my string equals test, and you'll see how the value changes, right? And that's pretty much what a class is. You got your custom objects. Now, why would you want to use a class, right? Well, it's for organization and efficiency. Like, let's say, in this example, right, you have an array of names and an array of your sex, an array of age, right? Now, this will work pretty well, right? It'll output all of them, right? But it can be pretty difficult to handle. Like, what if you made a mistake and you forgot to enter one of their sexes or whatever, right? Or you mixed up an index, or the values got mixed up, right? There's so many things that can go wrong because they're all separate objects, right? And see, in this example, because the length is based on the length of the name, it will crash when it gets to the third object, because sex with index of 2 will not exist. And I'm just going to copy this over to show you what happens. And I'm losing my voice a bit apparently. Right, and of course I have an error here. Fix that too. So as you can see, right, error. Right, index was outside the bounds of the array. This means that the number I2 was not available in the array. See, there's only 0 and 1. There is no 2. Right? Right, and that, you took out just the value of John by mistake, right? And you get him showing up as a female instead of a male, so. Right? Bob is a male, 30 years old. John is a male, 21 years old. Sally is female, right? And you take out the male, and it changes a lot. Right? The values cross over. John is a female, right? Just before it crashed. So that's where classes come in hand. Now, let's just quickly create a class and call it my person. So class my person. So we're going to do public string name, public int age, and public string sex, right? And we're going to create a constructor for it. So public my person, and when you create these constructors, they cannot have the same values of what you're giving them, or I mean the same variable names. So we're just going to put an underscore in front of it to make it different. Or integer age, and then in your constructor we're just going to define the variables, right? Name equals name, sex equals sex, and I'm losing my voice. Age equals age, right? So I'm just going to change this example here to use people. So string, or sorry, my person, right? Because we're going to be using our custom new class, person, right? An array of persons equals new my person. Now, note that when you create the array like this, you're not actually building the object, so you still have to call the constructor, right? It's not the same as, equals new my person with brackets, right? It's different. So we do my person 0 equals new my person. So let's just Bob male and 30. So his name is Bob. His sex, and notice how it shows up here. He's male and he's 30. Right? Sorry, person 0. So I'm just gonna quickly copy that over into. Right, so next person is John, male and 21. John, male, 21. Sally, female, and 21. Right. And then the lengths don't get mixed up because there's only one object, right? And then we just go person dot name, right? Person dot age, or sex actually, and then person dot age. Now you are calling one more, so it's slightly less efficient in its own sense. But it's a lot easier to work with, right? And I'll show you why in a sec. Right, I got all of them. Now, when you have it set up like this, it's a lot more organized. Like you can see, Bob, the name is Bob, the sex is male, and the age is 30. Like, it's really easy to read compared to here, right? Now, you can also apply a function overloading, right? And I'm going to do that just in case you don't really want to enter them in, right? So I'm just going to copy and paste this 3 times, remove age and age and sex, age 0, right? We're just going to apply some default values here. Unknown. Now I'm going to take away some of these values. Right, and notice how there's no real errors, right? And this is the result. Bob is male and is 30 years old. John is male and is 0 years old, right? And Sally is unknown and is 0 years old. See, it doesn't crash or anything, right? Because you assign default values. So that's one of the advantages of classes. Right, and that's pretty much it for basic classes. Just notes, right? This is like a field, just quickly go over my post and read the notes, and it'll explain some more of the details that I didn't manage to get to, right? Hopefully, if you read both the post and watch this clip, you should understand classes. If not, don't worry about it, because I'm going to be going into it in a bit more detail in the next post, except focusing more on these, on the word public, right? And that's the end of post 11.